We've got to stop making this mistake ASAP. If you're in video production, today let's talk about audio.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself.
The worst thing you can do is record a video with audio and then you get back to your chair, sit down at Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and then you listen to the audio and the audio is either distorted, it's way too low, it's got a lot of background noise and all that kind of nuisance and everything. The worst thing you can do is just record a video and you've got bad audio. Let's talk about it honestly, because I've made those mistakes in my past and obviously things happen. But today, let's talk about 5 proven techniques that will get you the best audio you can possibly get, at least. I know you got clients that are paying you, or maybe you're just making videos for YouTube, you're a vlogger, maybe you're filming a podcast. Whatever it is, these techniques that I'm about to give you today are going to help you to get the best audio. Things unfortunately will happen sometimes when it comes to using technology, but these 5 techniques I'm about to give you will help you to make sure that you're safe. Hopefully you're safe. This is stuff that I use. This is stuff that all pros use. I've gone through it, but if only you just sat down to learn, and that's why you're here. Number 1, using the right mic and using it in the right position. Most of the time on my shoots, I use a lot of lapel mics. Obviously, when it comes to podcasts, you've got podcast mics. The first thing you want to make sure you do is positioning. Whether that's a podcast mic or a lapel mic, you want to make sure you're placing that mic 6 to 8 inches from the mouth of the person that's going to be speaking. Trust me, you might be thinking 6 to 8 inches. How am I meant to know if 6 to 8 inches whilst I'm on set? Am I going to have to bring one of these? Listen, I don't carry one of these around, so I know what 6 to 8 inches is or whatever. I think this is inches, right? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is 8 inches. Yeah, cool. I'm not going to carry one of these around. I usually just use my hand. So the rule of thumb is you want to place your hand not on the client's mouth, but just about here, about this distance away from the mouth of the speaker. So if you look at where my mic is right now, I've placed my mic literally right here, about 8 inches from my mouth. Other thing is, not everyone's going to use a lav mic. So for instance, if you was going to use a shotgun mic, I could use this as a shotgun mic if I wanted to. What I would aim to do is to place this out of shot. That's the one thing you want to make sure you do, and direct this right at my chest. The reason why you would want to do that is because when it comes to shotgun mics, they're directional mics. If you're going to place it facing above my head, you're going to be picking up audio from above my head. If you're going to place it dip downwards, then you're going to be getting audio from the floor. The best thing you want to do for the best audio when it comes to shotgun mics is place it either at the object's face or around their chest, so it picks up audio crisp. So the one thing you want to prioritize when it comes to mics is you literally want to prioritize distance. So the distance from the mic to the object or the person's face, you want to prioritize that over getting a £1,000 mic to a £50 mic, dollars, yen, whatever currency you're working with. A cheap mic placed in the right place can get you great audio that you can literally just treat and post. But if you get an expensive mic and place it across the room, the audio is going to be atrocious and hard to treat. Please bear that in mind. So that's point 1. Alright, 2. This is another one. Please, please, please. I think some of this is obviously common sense, but then obviously this is controlling the room. Let's control the room. Let's control the environment. If you're going to be filming in a room where the window's open, and you're close to a street where there's a lot of cars, there's also a fan in the room so you can hear the traffic, people outside of the door of the room, and it's quite loud. That's not a place where you can necessarily record. So what you want to do first off is you want to make sure that windows are closed, especially if you're in a busy area. Close all those windows of that room. Number 2, you want to make sure there's not really any loud sounds around, unless you're confident that you're going to be able to get that out in post. But advised, if there's a fan, turn it off. Maybe get something. If it's too hot, obviously there's nothing you can do about it. Make sure outside of that room, there's no noise. Number 4, you want to make sure everyone's phone is on silent. The worst thing you can do is have a client on the road filming and then they're distracted by the sound of a phone going off. So make sure everyone's phone is on silent. If you're shooting in a room where you're going to be shooting multiple times, you want to obviously make sure there's soft things in that room that can absorb bits of audio and so forth. So for instance, you might want to pad up that room. soundproof it. There's little bits you can do to get perfect audio. Number 3, this is a big one because I know a lot of people don't really know about this. And this is one key thing that you want to make sure you take note of is your gain. You can just buy a mic from Amazon, whether that's a Holyland, a DJI mic, a Sennheiser Rode mic. You can buy a mic and just take it out, stick it on, start recording, and then you think that's how it works. Next thing you know, you got distorted audio. But the one thing you want to make sure you do always when it comes to recording on mics is set a -dB of -12 to -6, always on those mics to avoid distortion, for you to be able to get the best audio and be able to treat it after. So when you set your gain levels to -12, between -12 to -6, you want to do a test, do a 30-second test, record something, then listen back to it after. Make sure it's not too loud and make sure it's not too quiet, because when you record something that's way too quiet, then you're going to get also issues. So make sure you always test your audio before you start recording properly. One of the biggest mistakes I've ever made on shoots years ago was when I wasn't monitoring audio. Just thought, I don't want to carry too much. Monitor your audio. Just do it. Trust me, you want to do it. Just make sure you do it. Don't even think, don't think, just do. If your audio comes out in post distorted or with crazy sounds, you're gonna regret that. Especially if it's a paying client, you're finished. You might as well just give that money back. Monitor your audio. Monitor your audio throughout the shoot to make sure you're getting clean audio. If it's not you doing it, get someone else to do it. Point 4. Now, sometimes you get into post and you're thinking, how do I even edit this audio? Let's talk about this one. So you want to make sure you give it a speak-friendly processing treatment. So let's go through this. So sometimes you get rumble in your mic. To be able to remove rumble, one of the first things you want to do, especially to remove rumble, is set a high-pass filter of around 70 to 100 hertz, and that will remove your rumble. The other thing you want to do is remove 200 to 400 hertz if it sounds a bit boxy. Subtract about 2 to 4 kilohertz if it's sounding harsh. And if you want to add a bit of clarity into your audio, you will just want to add about a subtle high shelf onto it just to make sure it sounds clear. And just because this is speech audio, you want to just basically keep the compression to a slight low. Nothing too harsh, nothing too much. Keep it simple. And then number 5, when it comes to post-production, also you want to make sure when it comes to the speech, music and sound effects, place your music and your sound effects at like a -12 to -20 or even less than that. You have to play it by ear. Make sure you listen to the speech and the music with headphones, and if you have great speakers, use the speakers, and make sure that none of it is overshadowing the speech, especially when you've got the person speaking on camera. When you don't have speech, obviously you can pull up the gain on the music and sound effects, but always don't let it overshadow the speech. That's a key thing. Just for the beginners out there, if you don't know what dB is decibels. Decibels is the metric in what we use to measure sound loudness. If you didn't know what hertz is, or Hz, that's how we measure the pitch and the frequency of sound. And just so you know, today I'm recording with the Sennheiser Profile, and which is one of their newest video mics released. Literally a competitor to the DJI Holyland Rode mic. If I'm being honest, no qualms about this if I'm being real. Great sound quality. I've always used Sennheiser since the beginning, since the get-go of me getting into production 16 years ago. Great audio, definitely respected in the industry. You can definitely trust them. And I just love that we had the locking connector for the 3.5mm jack, so it can be used in 3 different ways. So you can either use it as a clip-on mic, you can also use it with the magnet, and then you can also just use it the way I'm using it right now, which is literally like this. So right now I'm using it with a lapel attached to it. Great audio. I really hope this video has given a lot of you insight onto what you need when it comes to recording audio with your video. Please don't make the mistakes of not doing, especially point 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to on the shoot. Make sure you cover your back. Any questions, put them in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram. I'll respond to any DM, any comments I'll respond to. Reach out to me if you need any help with anything. I also offer one-to-one mentoring. So if you want to be part of that, you can also inquire via my email or through my DMs. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and drop me a comment. Take care.